Hello and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is October the 17th, 2024. And already this month is half gone as well. And I'm sending birthday wishes to my niece. Happy birthday, sweetie. So I have a number of different things to talk about this week. What I don't have is something to say that I'm wearing. I am not wearing a crocheted item today. I kind of forgot it in getting everything else down here and ready. But for any, I must welcome everybody before I get busy with business and tell my returning viewers how much I appreciate you. And if you are a new viewer, I hope you enjoy what you see and you come back again. I am coming to you from Chatham, Ontario, which is the southernmost tip of Ontario and Canada. And I'm all about talking about crochet, finished items, and what I'm doing in crochet. And I also like to discuss yarn, particularly hand-dyed yarn, and you can see a lot of it here behind me. And talking about the yarn behind me, yes, we had a mishap a couple weeks ago, and I spent time getting it all sorted and fixing the unit a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. When you're sitting on rug, these things aren't the best. But it's together and it feels fairly secure. And I have to tell you that in fixing the unit and reshelving everything, they found different homes. And while I was at it, I also looked at my yarn to try to pick yarn for the various months next year. And if you are new, I will tell you that we do a monthly mal, and this year we have inspiration pictures that are tropical birds that I use, so you are inspired by the colors to make something. Next year I have decided we're going to do butterflies, and I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think I have 5 or 6 already selected in going through my yarn. And it's a very interesting process to go through your yarn, because you see things you forget you have, and things that you're inspired to want to pick up and start working with right away. But as you know, those that have been here for a bit, I'm getting ready for a craft show in just 1 month, and I have to focus on that first. And then I've seen quite a bit of yarn I really, really want to start working with. And at the same time, I did a little cleaning up of the room, and I brought in another little shelving unit and cleaned off a table back there, and actually looked at some of my whips. So I'm going to start by talking about that. I'm not going to get all the whips out. Some of them were just project bags with a couple balls of yarn in it and no particular plan for them. But I did have a whip that I really wanted to do this summer, and it didn't get done. It's not going to get done this year, but I hope next year. But this is a whip I had in one of my bags, and I have done this project before where you take 2 different cakes, and I started from the inside of this cake, and I started from the inside of that one too, because this one was dark and this one was light on the inside. And you alternate every 2 rows. And I did one of these before. And it isn't hard. It's basically a moss stitch. But in looking at it, I'm thinking, am I ever going to get back to this and finish it? I'd say 95% chance I won't. It would be pretty, I'm thinking, but I just can't see myself going back to it. I have so many other things I want to do. So I have pretty much come to the conclusion that I'm going to frog this and put these cakes aside, whether I'll ever use them, or maybe I'll put them in a mystery bag at some point. But I'm almost positive this isn't, even though it's a very easy project and I could pick it up and do a little here, a little there, I just have so many that I want to do that chances are next to nil that I will do something with that. So I just thought I'd mention that I pulled out that whip UFO in my book, and it's going to get frogged. End of story. So what I want to talk about first is what I have managed to complete this week. And I'm quite pleased that I mentioned last week I had started on the item for the mal this month using the, I'm going to put a picture up here of the bird inspiration, and I didn't use the yellow, but I did use the other two colors, and I'm very happy with the outcome of those two colors, and I finished it. I finished that project. But of course you're not going to see it for a couple of weeks, so you'll have to wait till the end of the month. The other thing that I finished was the diamond painting that I just flashed at you last week, and I did finish it. And this looks very fall harvest to me. So it has already been on the door, and when I'm done here today, I'll put it back out on the door, probably for the next 2 weeks. And then I will take it down and put up the finished black cat and pumpkin that I showed you, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'll put that up for a week over Halloween. I don't do Halloween real big, so being up for a week is plenty in my book. So that is done. And I have one more finished item that I have made for the craft show, and that is this poncho. There it is. I tried to, this is no particular pattern. It's just double crochets, and I have one open row, and I have a row here of actually 2 rows of posts to give it a little texture. And every so often, I don't know if you can see, I did the double crochet in the back loop only every so often, just to give it a little bit of interest. Then I went back to the neck and I added a little bit of a cowl. I was going to go up higher and let it fold over to make a thicker cowl, but I decided that really that looked fine, so I stopped at that point. Now that is made with Lion Brand Scarfie. It is a number 5, it says, and it is 78% acrylic, 22% wool. And I had 3 skeins, and I have this much left, and I weighed it, and it's about 65 grams, and it has 150 grams in one of these balls. So I figure from 3 skeins, which would be 936 yards, there is about 120, maybe 125 yards left. So that means that I used right around 800 yards for that poncho. And that poncho is going to the craft show next month. So that's a finished object, and I'm quite happy that I did get an item finished. What I'm not working on anything because I literally finished this last night, and this morning I wove in a few tails, and I wound this up before I went out to class, and I just got back home now to make this video. So I haven't started something new, but my plan for tonight is to probably pick out a yarn to make another bandana hoodie, cowl hoodie. And I have a pattern in mind. I think I might do the modern day granny for the shawl part, and then of course it's just plain working up. So that's my intention, and if I get started on that tonight, I should have it finished by the weekend. Maybe in the next week I might be able to make 2 of them. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to try to make 2 of them because I do want at least 2 more of them to take with me to the craft show. And then when that's done, I have a sort of a shawl, particular shawl I want to make. It sold last year, and I want to do another one for this year. So that's what we're working on. That's what's going on. Now, the other thing I have to talk about is Happy Mail. Yes, I got some more Happy Mail in the mail last week. Now, last week I forgot I had a birthday card, and then last week on the day that the video comes out, I got 2 pieces of Happy Mail in the mail. So I want to go through what I got and start with the card. I got this birthday card sending wishes for a fantastic birthday, and she apologized for it being a bit late, but that's okay. It came from the States, and it's from Dawn, who is Yarn is a Sport. That's the name of her channel. Then in the Happy Mail, I knew this one was coming because I had a birthday card from Debbie P. If you'll remember, I opened it, I'm pretty sure, on my birthday. And she said in the card that she had a gift for me and couldn't find it. You know how that goes? We put things in a safe place and we forget where the safe place is. But she obviously found it and sent it to me, and in this nice pretty gift box. Isn't that pretty? And this is what's in it. It's a pen with my name on it, and it says the kind of wood that this is. And she told me that it was made by her brother-in-law. So I want to thank you, Debbie, for thinking of me. It will certainly get used. I may put it on at the table where I when I'm sending out the various things I send out each month. I write a note and I write out the address at the table, and I may very well put that right there, and it will get some good use. Thank you very much, Debbie. And I was, as I said, expecting something to arrive, so I wasn't surprised when that arrived, but I was surprised when I received another package, and this comes from Sherry in Alabama. And Sherry's very quiet, but she sends an item pretty much every month for the mail. And here is the card. Some of you may be familiar with the Purpose Driven Life. It is a series a Bible study by Rick Warren, and this is from that set. And it says, when anything in creation fulfills its purpose, it brings glory to God. You bring God glory just by being who you are, and who you are is great. Well, thank you very much, Sherry. She says she really enjoys my channel. Thanks for all I do, and she hopes I enjoy this hand-dyed yarn. Well, you know I'm going to. I did take a little peek. I have opened it ahead. Oh my. And she's put it in a plastic bag. I'm thinking, let me look at it before I go making guesses. Ethereal fingering, superwash merino, 20% baby alpaca, and 10% silk. 4-ply, 437 yards. It is 2 hanks, approximately 874 yards. You know what I'm thinking is, I think it was Sherry who dyed some yarn one month based on the bird for that month. So I'm thinking, Sherry, did you dye this yarn yourself? Wow. Thank you so much if you did. And let's see if I can unhank it. There we go. It feels really lovely, but then when you have superwash merino, baby alpaca, and silk, that's gorgeous. And look at the colors. She definitely has dyed it in my kind of colors. Look at that. So it's all one big hank, no ends, 874 yards. That's definitely too. I can do the whole thing and make a shawl with it. I'll have to, in the new year. You can smell the, whatever she uses to rinse it in. Smells quite nice. It is really, really nice and soft. Thank you very much, Sherry. I'm assuming you dyed it, and for you to put that extra into it, I really do appreciate it. Thank you. So you be watching, and hopefully in the new year, along with all these other things that I have on my list to make, hopefully I will get to this once I find just the right shawl to make it. Thank you. So that was another birthday present, and thank you very, very much. And I better be sure to put that back in the bag with that information so I don't forget. So my birthday has continued on. Pretty special, right? So the next thing I want to do is move along with our Magical Gratitude 2024 and see what bag is next. We have purple and we have black. I'm pretty sure purple, they say lavender one is next, and there's one less left for next week. Next week we will finish this off. So, to get out the card, this is week 7, and this is self-gratitude. Recognizing and appreciating your own efforts, achievements, and qualities is a wonderful practice for nurturing self-compassion and enhancing self-worth. we have to take care of ourselves or we don't have anything to give to others. So kindness is a good thing. This week, choose 3 qualities you love and appreciate about yourself and focus on them. I'd have trouble coming up with 3. Speak kindly to yourself as you would to a small child. Remember, you deserve love and kindness just like everyone else. And that is so true. We have to treat ourselves well. We have to believe in ourselves. So, very good to follow. I'll put that over here with all the others. And then we'll see. I think this is the one that is smelling. Put that back there. And this is what we have. And it's a whole lot of this really, I'm sorry, but it smells very strong. And I can't say I like the smell of it. So I'm going to put it back in this bag. And I'm probably going to dispose of it. Because I can't say I really like the smell of it. I don't know what it is supposed to be. I don't recognize the smell. Anyway, that's this week's. And we have one more to finish off. Okay. Take that garbage. Put that in the garbage. Alrighty. So, next. First of all, I want to tell you that a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I was thinking I haven't bought yarn in a while and I haven't spent much money on anything in a while. And I decided that I was going to treat myself to some yarn. And I kind of went on a shopping spree and I bought yarn from several places. And a couple of them arrived today. One arrived earlier in the week, maybe at the end of last week. Excuse me. And so we're going to be opening yarn over the next few weeks. But before we get to what I have purchased, I finally, today in the mail, in fact, today I received quite a few of my purchases, but I also finally received this. See, it says Stranger Strings. And this is the Halloween, what do you call it? It's not an advent, but it's the Halloween package of minis that you're to open in October. Well, you're supposed to open one a day for I believe it's 12 days. Well, it's got to be more. I got 14 here. I'm going to pull them out and try to put them on the table here. I thought there were either 12 or 13 in the I'm going to have to get them out because it looks like the beginning ones are at the bottom. 8, 9, 12, 10, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 14 is a bigger one. So I guess you get 13, and then you get an extra full skein. Those are all minis, I can tell. 11, 12, 13. Yeah, she put them in with the smallest numbers. So we have Today's the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st. So I have to open 4 today. There's 2 and 4 and 1. There's 5. That must be 6. And this is 3. So I'm going to open 4 today. Then the next week I'll open 5 minis. And the following week I'll open 4 minis plus the extra one. So today we're going to do 4 plus, of course, we had the bag. And she has put this on herself. And it makes for a nice project bag. And I may very well make this a gift at some point. So these, I'm assuming, are meant to be Halloween colors. And there's number 1. And I don't know the significance of the stickers. And let's see what the first one was. I should have got a board out to put these on. Ooh, wow. Oh, it has a card in it as well. It says Day 1 Demo Gorgon. I don't know, maybe that means something. But hey, I'm gonna like it because it's sparkly. Oh, that's very pretty. Grays and sort of a burgundy or wine. That is very nice. I like that. Put the bags down there. That is nice. That's number 1. By next week, I'll have these fastened to a board. I'll find a board to fasten them to. And then I'll add the others as we go. And this is number 2. And because there was a card in the last, yeah, there's a card in this one too. Day 2, Nancy Wheeler. These look like, I don't know, do you see there's something behind it? Do they come off, or are they stickers? I don't know. And that must be a character and something to do with Halloween. Oh my, if they're all going to be like this, I'm going to love this collection. This one is pink, little bit of bluish purple, but mostly pink. Sparkle, I must have selected sparkle. They feel nice. I'm thinking they might be DK. They look a little heavier. 22 grams, but they look a little thicker than most. I have to see if I can find the listing for it to see if it's DK. And then we have number 3. I don't watch TV, and I'm not up on current movies, so if this is referring to something, I don't know what it is. Maybe you can fill me in. Day 3 is Mad Max, so maybe that clues some of you into what this is all about. And another nice sparkle. Now this doesn't go, maybe the word is the color inspiration. Maybe Nancy Wheeler inspires that color. Mad Max inspires this color. Again, it's sparkle. Doesn't go with those two, but doesn't really matter. I'll add it to my mini collection. It really feels nice. And finally, number 4. Oh, and there's a card in here. And this is day 4. The Upside Down. I don't know what we're referring to, but you can clue me in, those of you following that know what it's all about. Oh, and you know I love that. Oh, what a pretty color. Yes, sparkles. And it is quite soft. It is quite soft. I really do like it. Very nice. So there are my first 4. They aren't Halloween themed really. I guess they're themed after the characters in some movie, I have to guess. But aren't those pretty so far? Yeah. Very, very nice. Thank you. I'm happy. I'm really happy with those. They'll be nice to add to my my collection. And I think what I'm going to do, because I got stuff all over, is I'm going to put them back in this bag. Put number 14 at the bottom there. By Knits and Pearls. This bag has been designed by Knits and Pearls. I don't think that's who I got the yarn from, but anyway. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. Okay, so we'll be back next week to open the next 5. Right. So put that in here. Now, one thing I wanted to also mention, and I forgot at the first, is that if you remember last week, I showed you a lot of my, what I call fashion scarves. And I offered them for sale if anybody was interested, and I want to thank those that did. I sold 5 of them, but there are still 15 others if anybody is still interested. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back to last week's video where I show you some fashion scarves that I have made, and would likely be taking some of them to the craft show, and I thought I would offer them to my viewers first if you were interested. So if you're interested, take a look. If you weren't sure, you were thinking about it, there are still quite a few left to choose from, and you can look at last week's video to see what's left. Okay. I am going to do one acquisition this week out of the ones that I made. And I was on Instagram one day and, just browsing through as we do. And Arcane Fibre, he often posts there, and he does YouTube videos as well. And he often shows yarn that he is dyeing, or that he already has dyed, and he might show the sample. And excuse me, for some reason when I was flipping through, I came across one of his videos, or maybe it was even dyed already and it was just showing the finished product, but for some reason the color really spoke to me. I don't know why, but it did, and it was sort of a wine or burgundy, and I decided that I needed to get it. And in the process, that's when I decided that I need to buy a little more yarn, and I kind of broke my yarn diet and decided I would get it. it Ty, his yarn always feels so nice. It is very soft. It says it is 80/20 merino nylon blend, and it has it doesn't say how much, tells you how many stitches per inch and all of that kind of thing. And this is called Wine Time. And of course, if I'm buying one, I wasn't going to just buy one. First of all, you have to buy two to get free shipping. And I ended up buying three because he had two other colors that I've been looking at for a while. Now, I have some of Arcane Fibre's yarn from the past, and it has mostly been variegated. And I find a variegated just a wee bit too busy for my taste, and I really like the tonals. So I went through looking for tonals, and one that I've been thinking of for quite a while to get is this one, and it is called Midnight. It's a dark blue, but it has just a bit, like if you look at the dark blue I showed you last week, you'll see that it has teal in it. It doesn't look like by itself, but when you put it next to another, you see that kind of teal look that's in the blue. Again, I really like it. It's very soft. And one other I got because I like this as a neutral. He had several grays, and I had, oh, by the way, yeah, I told you that was Midnight. He has several grays, and I had trouble deciding, and I finally settled on dark gray. Dark gray. And I'll be able to use that as a neutral. Again, nice and soft. You know, you could do a whole lot of minis and use that to go with it. Gray, always useful in my books. So, and it feels just about as nice as the one that Sherry sent me, which makes me think there's something more than just nylon in it, but it is very, very soft. So I've added those three to my collection of solids, and I'll be able to put them to use for sure at some point, because these two are good neutrals. But this is a nice fall color. So that's one of my purchases. We're going to have to come back next week to see another purchase. And, oh, I almost forgot. I forgot to tell you last week. You know, I talked about the yarn from EFA called Raven. And I made a shawl that I showed you a couple of weeks ago that was for September's Mal, and it is dark blue, like navy and black. It's just navy and black, a raven color. And every fall they come out with the raven again, always on a different base. And they have come out with it again. They actually brought it out just over a week ago. And I should have told you last week, and I forgot. And this year, they've brought the Raven out on their yak silk fingering. As of today, they still have some left. I went and ordered two so that I can make a shawl with it. And I hope by the time you see this video, they still have it if you're interested in getting it. Yak silk fingering. They have yak silk lace as well. Yak silk fingering. Do they have yak silk DK? Anyhow, it's one of their more expensive yarns. So it should be very, very soft when I get it. I don't have it yet. I ordered it, and it'll probably come end of the month, maybe even the beginning of November, because it didn't get sent right away. So I did want to remember to tell you about that. So that's all I have to share with you this week. Next week, we'll be continuing on with our Halloween minis, and hopefully I'll have a couple of items done next week to share with you, and another acquisition. So I hope you'll be back for that. And until then, happy hooking.